Kid, did you know there was a time when Beyonce and ex-Destiny's Child member LaTavia Roberson performed as a duo, just the two of them? Young LaTavia was meant to shine, but like countless others who faded under Beyonce's spotlight, her moment of fame ended suddenly and never truly bounced back. Following her unexpected exit from Destiny's Child, LaTavia fell into a dark period, struggling with depression, alcohol abuse, and inner battles that almost broke her completely.
You were going through a really rough time. You didn't know what to pray for. What gave you comfort?
Alcohol, being in my own space, exclude myself from society, self-sabotage. That's where I was. People wonder like, well, what happened to you for like 20 years? I was underneath my own.
Once again, it's been said that while Matthew Knowles might have been behind LaTavia's departure, Beyonce may have also been involved, as she was reportedly the one in control.
Quickly, to make a long story short, the group was together a long time. My father was the person that started the group. Two of the ladies decided that they wanted to fire my father as a manager without ever discussing it with us. We got a letter one day, and we were performing the day before together. So it was devastating to Kelly and I. 3 days later, I get a call from their attorney saying that not only do they want their own manager, they want all the money that they've paid my father back. And of course, they didn't want to pay the 20% or whatever. Right. So, which means Kelly and I would have to double up on expenses. So basically, we felt like either we had to find 2 new members or the group would self-destruct. So we were very blessed that God sent us very.
Even though LaTavia has already revealed parts of her experience, there's talk that LeToya Luckett, who was removed from the group alongside her, might finally be ready to open up with even more revelations. Could she be keeping quiet about shocking details of what truly went on behind closed doors, and how much Beyonce might have actually known? We could soon get answers to questions like, who truly pulled the strings? Was Beyonce already the rising star, quietly agreeing to cut down the group to secure her shine? Did she approve of her father's actions, or perhaps even encourage them? Or was it all entirely Matthew Knowles' doing, pushing out anyone who questioned the financial dealings? That's exactly what we might uncover. In case you didn't know, LaTavia Roberson has been working on a revealing memoir titled I Am LaTavia, where she intends to tell her full story, including her time in Destiny's Child and everything she endured afterward. But even before she writes it all down, we already know parts of what happened. For instance, she was one of the founding members of Destiny's Child along with Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, and LaToya Luckett. She played a key role in their first 2 major albums, including the hugely popular The Writings on the Wall, and won 2 Grammy Awards during her run with the group. It's also known that at some point, LaTavia and LeToya started asking for more clarity on how the money was being handled, which sparked serious conflict. Eventually, LaTavia and LeToya took legal action against Matthew Knowles. Their lawsuit accused him of trying to gain legal guardianship over them and hiding financial details from both them and their families. They even said they weren't informed they'd been dropped from the group. They only realized it when they heard the song Say My Name. The lawsuit also mentioned how Matthew clearly favored Kelly and Beyonce and focused more energy on pushing them into stardom. Later, in interviews about the situation and how they were treated, LaTavia was asked what kind of manager Matthew was. She said, "Matthew never held back his words, and that kind of blunt criticism is tough to handle when you're just a young girl. We tried to stay strong, but Kelly was more emotional and sometimes she would just go cry in her room." There's also the fact that during one tour, Matthew reportedly wanted to replace LaTavia, who was sick, with their choreographer. According to LaTavia, he would have never done the same to his own daughter. Being removed from the group was extremely painful for LaTavia. She compared it to a messy breakup, saying it sent her into deep depression and issues with alcohol. She pointed out that the girls in the group were her only real friends at that age, and losing that bond was devastating. Because of this, her career took a massive hit, and she spent years trying to recover. But even now, people still argue about who's to blame. Did young Beyonce play a role in it all, or were her parents solely responsible? We do know that Matthew and Tina Knowles did whatever they could to make Destiny's Child the top group, even if it meant sabotaging others like they reportedly did with Black. Matthew managed Black, and despite the group landing 2 top 10 Billboard hits, 808 and Bring It All to Me, and a platinum debut album, they never got the momentum they deserved. You'd think those numbers would have made them a top priority for Columbia Records. Plus, Black was tied to some of the biggest pop acts and girl groups of that era. But for reasons never publicly explained, their album was shelved at the last minute by Columbia. The theory has always been that Matthew Knowles may have blocked its release to protect Destiny's Child from competition. And it doesn't stop there. Alongside those claims, it's also said the Knowles family worked hard to ensure no one ever outshone Beyonce. For example, in a past Wendy Williams episode, former Destiny's Child member Farrah Franklin revealed that no group member was allowed to appear lighter-skinned than Beyonce. Everyone else had to tan, so they looked noticeably darker next to her.
That's right. You don't talk about Tina Knowles. Because what she did to Farrah is totally separate from the look that she possesses. Gorgeous woman.
Thank you.
However, I understand that she wanted you to, she was trying to downplay your naturally stunning looks while you were in the group. Did she have you dye your hair, or she wanted you to dye it something other than the stunning black that it is?
Yeah, my hair was red when I was in the group, actually. And I was
Crown red, like those Kelly red? What?
My hair was red. Yeah. And my hair was red. I look a lot different than when I was in the group.
Damn sure do, because I don't even recognize you.
Yeah.
I know your name, but I don't know you.
This is how I would have looked naturally, like, but this is the group. That's how they wanted me to look.
What else would they do to ugly you up?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I mean, I did have to tan a lot. When I
tan a lot? Because they wanted Beyonce to be the lightest one?
I mean, Michelle, I, and Kelly tanned sometimes, so.
Wow. And Beyonce wouldn't tan?
Not unless we were at a beach.
Wow, talking about Farrah, she was only part of the group for a short time. In July 2000, Matthew released a statement through MTV saying the group had chosen to separate from Farrah after she skipped several performances. That same year, Beyonce echoed her father's words, explaining that Destiny's Child parted ways with Farrah Franklin because she missed multiple shows and promo events. She clearly stated it wasn't management's call, but a decision made by the group itself.
That's the last flight out of here?
Yes, sir. You might have to go straight to the airport.
I don't have no luggage.
I'm rolling. But it's better for you to go home than not have luggage.
That's right.
It's not.
Cause where y'all coming out there?
Well, somebody can send your luggage.
But then I'm gonna have to wait for 4 days before I get all my stuff.
Well, it's either that or you gonna.
But in Farrah's version of events, she claimed she missed those appearances because she had already left the group, reportedly due to being treated unfairly. She also alleged that Beyonce and her parents did to her what they had done to any artist seen as a threat to Beyonce. Additionally, there have been claims that Tina used to tell the other girls to spend time in the sun and get tanned, while specifically telling Beyonce not to join them. Besides trying to make the others appear darker next to Beyonce, it's also been said that Tina didn't want to work with darker-skinned girls at all. For instance, Ashley Tamar Davis, a former member of Destiny's Child and a voice coach, once revealed that Tina didn't want to work with her because she was, in her words, dark, big, and ugly. At the start of a conversation between the coach and Ashley, they were recalling old Destiny's Child memories when Ashley mentioned she couldn't quite understand what was going on back then, but she could sense something off in Beyonce's parents' energy. That's when the coach began explaining how she was removed. When he paused, Ashley encouraged him to keep going because she genuinely wanted answers, and he went on to reveal everything.
Celestine had a color issue. So this is what she said. Coming back to my apartment to tell me that I had made the right decision, she told me that it was just as well. And this is a direct quote. Ashley is talented, but she is so big. She towers over the other girls, and she is too dark.
Aside from making sure Beyonce appeared the most attractive, reports suggest the real reason Matthew pushed for the girls to go solo was because he had bigger plans for Beyonce and aimed to dissolve the group so she could launch her solo career. As for LaTavia, some sources claim that Beyonce may have played a significant role in forcing her out, and that her reaction, appearing heartbroken over the exit, might have been just for show.
And it hurt very, very, very bad.
And still to this day, I have dreams about them, and I still miss them sometimes. And it's so sad, and it's so unfortunate that all of those years, you know, it happened like that. And we would have never thought, when the first album came out, I would have never thought that we would end up not being together. We had been in the house.
In fact, many have pointed out that Beyonce allegedly has a pattern of derailing other people's careers, so it wouldn't be shocking if she did something similar to LaTavia. One example often brought up is Des'ree, who reportedly faced Beyonce's backlash. The situation involved Beyonce covering Des'ree's song Kissing You for her birthday album, renaming it Still in Love, Kissing You, and giving herself a writing credit. However, the rights to use the song were never officially granted, yet Beyonce still re-recorded it and even shot a video. As a result, Des'ree pursued $150,000 in damages and demanded the song's distribution be halted, a move that reportedly ended her career. There have also been rumors over time suggesting that Beyonce tried to derail Rihanna's rise when she saw her becoming a major star. Reports claim that Beyonce wasn't happy about Rihanna's growing success and her professional ties to Jay-Z, and allegedly tried to block her path. Some sources even claim that Beyonce persuaded Jay-Z to secretly leak Rihanna's ANTI album early in order to boost the performance of her own release, Formation. The leak happened on Tidal, which notably is owned by both Jay-Z and Beyonce. Ironically, at one point, Beyonce had reportedly backed Rihanna to replace Tierra Mari in the industry because she saw Tierra as the bigger competition. But in the end, Rihanna ended up becoming the more successful artist.
I'm Rihanna, and we had a showcase. And at the showcase, there were two artists performing. Her name is Tierra Mari, and she's a really sweet girl. And the truth is, I was paying a little more attention to her than I was to Rihanna. After the showcase, you know, Beyonce just gave me one of those looks, and he said, that Rihanna girl, she's a beast. And she looked away, right? And I was like, so I did a Rihanna double take, you know. But it wasn't as though I didn't believe in Rihanna. I love that girl, right? But I paid a little more attention when Beyonce said that to me. Yeah.
Additionally, another career that reportedly took a hit because of Beyonce was Blue Cantrell's. The time both Blue and Beyonce were launching their solo careers, which naturally created some rivalry between them, and Blue ended up being pushed aside. There were also whispers that Blue and Jay-Z had been romantically involved, but when questioned about it on multiple occasions, Blue denied any relationship with him. However, she did admit during an interview with Wendy Williams that she had a serious crush on Jay.
We have him locked down.
I think so. I think they're in love. I think they're in love.
Is politics speaking?
No, I really do think they're in love. I have a big crush on him, though. I'll tell you that much.
Did you
still have a crush on him? No.
Yes,
No, I didn't. No, I'm really selective about it.
What?
Really. I really like him, though. And I don't care who he's dating. I always had a crush on him, though.
If he came in right now and we were all not here.
What?
I'm just saying, you're in New York.
Yeah, okay. And what
If you ran into him and everything was right, would you make that play?
I wouldn't turn it down. Let's just put it that way. But you can't just go around just,
Sweetie, the number of careers Beyonce is rumored to have derailed is pretty extensive, seriously long. So for many, it wouldn't be a shock if LaTavia was among them. Now, LeToya has said before that she'd never speak badly about Beyonce, since B literally gave her the opportunity she needed. All the girls stood by Beyonce during her tour, and she even acknowledged them publicly. But if the rumors are true, things might be shifting, and LeToya and LaTavia could be preparing to reveal some major truths. After all, if Beyonce truly wasn't on board with dropping them, why didn't she stand firm to protect her longtime friends? Or was she simply a 19-year-old caught between her manager father's decisions, having to pick between loyalty and career progress? Even after more than 20 years, we still don't have a clear answer, just LaTavia's pain, Matthew's strict reputation, and Beyonce's rapid rise to fame. That might change once LaTavia releases her tell-all and LeToya adds her side. Until then, what's your take? Did Beyonce have a role in ending LaTavia's career? Share your thoughts in the comments.